All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this first episode of this No Rest for the Wicked walkthrough that we're going to be doing. Today, we're going to start out with character creation and the tutorial zone, working our way all the way up to the tutorial boss. I'm also going to show you the route I take for resource gathering and farming materials every time the map resets. It's a nice little quick little run you can do to get resources, to farm enemies, to farm the XP. It's very simple. It's fairly long, but we're gonna hit some extra things. I'm gonna show you where some of the chests are, maybe some chests you didn't know existed, so even some of the little spots where items can spawn, shinies can spawn, chests can spawn along the way. So we're gonna start in the tutorial in the character creation and move through the tutorial boss. We'll kind of talk our way through some things along the way. So with all that, let's get started. All right, first off, we're gonna make our character. Here, this is not a character creation tutorial, so I'm just gonna do the basic stuff. You feel free to do the things you need and create it how you want. I'm literally just gonna pick it off all the starter stuff. It doesn't really matter for this video. So we're just going to name it Mr. YouTube. This is where you can select hardcore mode, which is like a permadeath. This is where you go in to do your customization. We're not going to worry about any of that. We're going to go in here and just hit create. And if you don't already have a realm, you can start a new one. We're going to do one here. We're just going to call this main YouTube. And then you're going to select your path. The path of the Torn is your easiest path. The path of the Chosen is your more balanced, and this is what the game has been since the beginning before they added the different paths. And this is your harder path, the path of the Unspoken. For the purposes of this, we're just going to choose the Chosen. It is 2026. No one cares what difficulty you play on. Just play, have fun. That is literally the point of the game. Just play what you feel comfortable with and have a good time. So here on this part, this is also where you can choose. As of right now, you can choose to play the prologue. I think if you haven't ever played the game, it makes you play the prologue. But if you've played it, you don't have to. You can skip right to the main story. This is also where you can share your realm to make it a multiplayer realm. And you'll be able to find the differences in that. Like if you look right below main YouTube, it says private local. But if you go down here to one of my other ones, the Den, this is like a shared one where me and my friends play on. So you can do that here, and that's just where you invite your friends at. For the purpose of this, we are not going to do this. This is just going to be a private server. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to click into the main story. And this is where you spawn at the beginning of every realm. Couple quick things real quick before we get going. In the beginning, you want to break everything. Every box, every tote. If it looks like it can be broken, break it. And everything you need to, you can pick it up, especially food. Now, some of this for the tutorial, this little walkthrough, we aren't going to be doing a lot of mining. I'll show you what each aspect of mining looks like, or resource gathering looks like, if we find the tools for it. But other than that, we're not going to spend a whole bunch of time gathering wood, gathering ore, digging holes, all that stuff. I will show you some of the locations, but if it looks like a tree that can be cut down, 90% of the time it can be cut down. And this is what a dig spot looks like. This one is always going to be here. Every time the map resets, it'll be here. This is what they look like. We'll talk to that guy here in a little bit. And this is what your ore looks like. Obviously, there are multiple different kinds. Like you have copper, iron, silver. So they will all look different. But if you get a little pop-up, it'll tell you what you need if you don't have it. And if you have the tool, it'll come up with a different animation saying to use your tool to mine that resource. But in the beginning, kill all these crabs. You'll want all this to be able to cook. Pick up all the veggies, mushrooms, herbs, all that stuff. And the first place I always go is right here to this little hidden door. Because there's a chest in here, and there's a pretty good chance you can either find a weapon, a shield, some armor, anything like that. But you're going to want to still come in here, break up all these. Later on in your runs, breaking the boxes aren't as important, especially when you have loot already built up. But in the beginning, break everything. And we didn't get anything. Ooh, we did pick up this. So we'll go ahead and throw this on just because it's the extra armor. I didn't even notice we picked that up. And again, we're ignoring the gentleman that wanted to talk to us to continue the main story for right now. And as you see, we just picked up a woodcutter's axe. So we can go ahead and equip that. Those go down here. And then when we get to a tree here in a minute, I'll show you what the animation looks like just in case if you haven't seen it before. So there's an herb over here. It has a pretty high spawn rate. We're going to go this way around this bend. Again, picking up everything we can along the way. We'll touch on Fallen Embers in another video, in a future video, just because we can't really do anything with it right now. And around this bend, we come in, we'll find another chest, one of the large chests. And look, we found a shield and we found a weapon. So we'll go ahead and we'll equip the shield, even though we're not gonna be able to use it, but we'll equip the glaives right now. And you'll notice we passed this ladder right here. We will be able to, I'll show you where that's at. We'll be able to swing back around and grab that ladder here in a little bit. Come up here, get these crabs. Alrighty. The very first time you play, or start a new server rather, there will be a chest here, and most of the time there's a chest right here as well. Now when you come back for your other resource runs, when the map resets, these two chests aren't a guaranteed spawn. They could be there, it could be a shiny, it could be nothing, but there is a chance that you can get a medium chest there. And then here's what the animation for the tree chopping looks like. You just want to get it right inside that red mark and to get that perfect. More trees, we'll do another tree. Again, we're not going to focus on the trees, but you're just trying to get it right inside that red to get that perfect hit. And before we talk to him, I'm going to show you one more place. There's a place underneath this bridge where you can, today we got a shiny, but sometimes you can get a chest. And there are some, again, sometimes there might not be anything. Actually, another place that you can find a shiny is up here. If you get those trees right up here on top of this, you can get, there's a chance to get a shiny right here on the tip of this. And another place that you can find a chest is up here on this end. If you come up this rock right here, there can be a shiny, there can be a chest here. Sometimes there'll be nothing. Again, it's kind of a hit or miss. There are some spots where you're just guaranteed to get a chest, the same size chest, a different size chest, but some places it's a hit or miss. And we won't really talk to this guy. He's just complaining about he shouldn't have taken you with him. If you play the prologue, you'll know the story, and you can listen to him rant and rave about it. Found another weapon. It's definitely much better, but it's going to make us heavy, so I don't want to use it. It's a two-handed. And I'm really not a two-handed or a heavy style guy. Again, personal preference, if you like those, there you go. That'd be a perfect one for you. It's a good starter weapon. Alrighty, here is our first fire pit, and this is a basic place to make food. So that's why I'm saying gather all the food you can, because now we're just gonna make everything we can to get our health pots up, or our food resources up, so if we take damage we can heal. And then down here is gonna be our first real enemy, and this guy always spawns here. And you can practice your backstabs, so you crouch down. And this is where you'll find your fishing pole. So now we can go fishing. Which here along the beach, obviously there's a couple little spots that you can go fishing. And again, it's the same concept with the tree. You see it, you want to get a perfect pole. Up here on this ledge, this can either be nothing, a medium chest, a small chest, or a big chest. I think it has a potential to drop all three kinds of chests, or it could be a shiny, or there could be nothing there. These are called whispers. For those of you that haven't played the game before, these are your fast travel and save points. So if we die, you will come back to the last one of these whispers you touched. And there's a new mechanic where you can activate them. We're not to that point yet. I will say if you're here in the beginning, don't go down here. This is a level 21 zone. Unless you're feeling frisky, you could go ahead and give it a try, but it is a more high level. Later on in our playthrough, we will have a quest spawn up here, but for right now, there's nothing here. There's just going to be this boss, which I don't know why I didn't get the skull from him. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. We're burning. We're burning. There we go. All right, and we leveled up. This is a good time for me to talk about my method of level ups, especially in the beginning. So every time you level up, you get 3 attribute points. And this is going to change. So they are going to be switching away from the attribute system to a job class system at some point. There are tons of content out on that. It's a whole separate video all in itself, even talking about that system. So we're not going to cover it here. But this is my general method for new characters, even later on in the game. When I roll a new character, My goal is this in the beginning. I want to get health, stamina, focus, and equip load, all 3 to 15 before I focus on whatever kind of weapon type I'm going to use, whether it be dex, whether it be a combo, it doesn't really matter. My focus in the beginning is to get equip load, focus, stamina, and health to 15 right off the beginning. And for me, in my opinion, in the times that I've played, this gives you a solid base to start your run. And then when you get to the point where you can respec, if you can drop those down as needed. But this sets a solid base for the first 10, 15 levels, even through like the first zone, the first real boss. In my opinion, it has not let me down yet. I will continue to do so until then. So it's just a great base. You don't have to do it. You can play it whatever way you want. But if you are looking for an opinion, get health, stamina, focus, and equip load to 15, and then start dumping into other things. You can work it from there after that. So we'll grab this chest. This chest doesn't always spawn here. I don't even think it's that high of a drop unless they changed it. In my experience, it's not that high of a drop. But then we're going to drop down here. And the same thing with this chest. I don't believe it's a real high drop to get it. I believe if we jump, we die. You know what? We'll test it for science. Nope. Okay. So we'll come here, and there's an ore, some veggies, and a fishing spot. And we're just going to make our way up into this cave right here, where there's another ore, some more herbs, and then a boss. Ow. Alrighty. And there's also a dig spot. There's also this chest right here. This chest, for me, has spawned every time. I don't think I can think of a time where it hasn't really spawned. So it's always a good spot to come in and look for a nice chest. And we'll wrap around this way. And here's another ore location right there, which we don't have a pickaxe yet, so we couldn't even do it if we wanted to. Nice, got a little copper ingot. And this circle will make sense here in a moment. So if you go across here and you jump onto here, when you get to about halfway, you just turn and jump the other way. There's a chest here. This is kind of a lower spawn. I do believe in the beginning you always get the big chest. It could be nothing, could be a shiny, and I think it drops a random size of the chest. So you could either have the medium, small, or large. And so now we're back at the fire. So now my next part of the run into Mariner's Keep. So this was all part of the shallows. And my next part into Mariner's Keep, I don't go through that way first. I come up here, I get these couple trees. There's usually a shiny with a food or a armor piece right there. We'll climb up through here, and we'll get the backstab on this guy to get this chest. And get these barrels as well. We'll grab this chest. And again, this is, in my experience, always a large chest. And then we can just kind of pop down right here. Take care of these little gerbilins. And then you come up here, and the very first time you spawn in to the game, there will be a chest here. Again, this one is another one where it's not always there. And in this little section right here, you're going to have your mushrooms. You got a couple trees. You have a tree there, then you got one right here. But then there's also this tree right here. If you're wanting to min-max your gathering, I mean, there's this tree right here. And then if you come around here, there is always a shiny right here. Then we come up these stairs. There's usually a boss, or not a boss, like an enemy here. And then if you come over here, there's always going to be an ore vein right here. Come up here. There's usually a chest. I'm not sure what the drop rate on this one is. It's fairly high. I can remember getting it more often than not in all my playthroughs. Get a plant. And then we'll come across here, grab this plant. And then here's that other chest. Now this chest isn't a high drop rate because eventually, like the next time you come through this part of the map, there's going to be a walkway right here. That it's like, it'd be one of these that connects the two sides together. We'll swing around this way, take care of this fool. Try not to fall to our death. Come around here, we'll grab this, and there's our pickaxe. Come down this ladder. Kick this ladder down. So this is that part of the beach that we came up after we went into that first little cave. We'll come through here. There's a dig spot and a chest. I do believe this is a pretty high drop rate, and it also changes what size chest I do believe. I think you can get a smaller and medium there. I don't think I've ever gotten a large there to my memory. And then this is the first key you'll want to grab. So this key is to the storage room, and this will open up a room that always has a big chest. We'll climb back up this ladder. I'm not sure why there's already a dead enemy up here, but that works. Up here, there's going to be a couple trees. You'll come across this walkway. We'll take a left. Do a little parkour. And there will be a chest right here. A couple mushrooms, some herbs. We'll walk the plank across here. And there is usually a shiny here. Now, this orange shiny is kind of a new thing to the Together update. I don't ever remember seeing it before that if it was here before. I'm not quite sure what it does. So if we come in here and look at this, it didn't give us anything special. It's not like this was a rare hood or had some crazy enchantment or had some gems in it. This is just a regular hood. So if you know what the orange is supposed to do, feel free to drop in the comment because I'm super curious. I don't think I've ever found one that's given me anything substantial that would warrant it being a different color. So I'm not sure if it's a bug, if it's going to be changed where it's more rare drops in those, but I've yet to have one. And we'll drop down here. We'll grab this whisper right here. We'll also go full health. There's usually a plant, an herb here, all these barrels and crates that you can break. Mushroom. And then we're going to hit this vine right here. We're going to come down. Pick up this shiny, find this guy that I know is here. Come pop up here. This shiny doesn't always spawn. It has a pretty high spawn rate, but it's not always there. And in here is always a chest. Got a new staff. Gotta make us heavy though, I don't want to use it. We could probably drop something. We'll change it up. There we go. Not what I wanted. There we go. And I would say in the beginning, if you've never played before, try every weapon. The move sets for everything are different. All the weapons have their own move set, even if it's the same category of weapon. Like it'll have its own move sets. So like another staff that I pick up could have a completely different move set that I like better. Like I just don't like how slow this is. So we'll probably end up going back to the glaives or gauntlets, not glaives. I like a playstyle that's a little bit faster. Shoot something. See, like that, I didn't even know what that rune attack did. Alrighty. So that key we picked up, that is to this room right here. And like I said, there's always going to be a chest in here. Hey, look at that. We got our shovel. So we have all of our tools. And I mean, that was a pretty good drop right there. All right. So we'll go look at these. We finally got our shovel, so we got all of our tools for now. This is going to make it super heavy, though. It'd be a good chance to show you, like, a fat roll. And so, like, there is a slower roll the heavier you get. But with the being heavy, there's also a mechanic where you can shove. So you can walk up and shove people off the edge. this spot right here is the location of the second key you'll need for this starter zone. And this lets you open up the path to continuing the story and being able to continue the path. So you'll bring it, it's this door right here. So from where we found that key at, so that key was right here on this body. This is always where that key spawns. It'll be here every time. You'll come right around the corner. And right here's this key. And we're going to have to save this guy. So like, look, we just shoved that dude. But I'm not a fan of like fat rolling. It's not my cup of tea. Then you can do charge attacks. I'm just holding the attack button down. And just parrying is just the best way to fight. If you can get the timing down. The timing is kind of weird for the parry, but once you get it down, it's a good thing to have. And we'll talk to Fillmore. Now, if you haven't found the tools up to this point, once you talk to this guy, he is the blacksmith that you will unlock for a Vender in Sacrament, which is like your main hub town. You can buy all of the tools from him if you haven't found them in the open world yet. And the other cool thing about this is he'll also repair for the first time, and while he's in this, well, it's not really the first time, while he's in this room, before you've moved past into Sacrament and you've beaten the tutorial boss, if you ever come back, he'll be in here and he can repair your weapons for free. But this is a nice place to go. Like, for instance, we're not going to use this. We're not going to use this. We're not going to use this shield. We're not going to use either one of these. You can just sell the stuff you're not going to use. We can sell all this stuff. And then you can buy stuff from him. Like I said, you can buy the tools you haven't found yet. He has some basic armor. And this is a good chance if you want to try some new weapons, some different weapons, this is the place to do it. Now, this is my favorite starter weapon, and I love it because of the rune that it has. It essentially makes it Mjolnir. You can get it electric, but this one is a fire one. It's, in my opinion, one of the best starter weapons you can get. It has good damage, it has a good move set, and the rune is just incredible. So we're going to buy it. We're going to use it. We'll also buy one of these wands, because, again, we can just try different things. Yeah, we'll go ahead and buy this one. And then we'll equip this, and we'll look at the wand as well. We also have some stat points, so we're going to do health, and then I'm just going to come down into focus because because the equip load, we're kind of already past that. So we'll just do focus to be able to use our runes spells more. There is a chest that can spawn here, a small one. And then I come down here, there's going to be some herbs, some mining. Oh, we haven't done an ore vein. Here's that. It's the same kind of concept. It brings up the little wheel. You want to get it in the red. And then we'll come back up. We'll climb this ladder right here. Jump down here. And there's going to be 2 sets of planks. You will die if you fall. And there's going to be a chest here. We got lucky. We should have died. And then I would suggest jumping from here and try to aim for wiggle your way down. We'll come up here. There's usually a couple enemies or 2. But there's that animation for that rune. It's incredible. Full builds could be done on around this weapon. We'll get a chest up here. This chest doesn't always spawn, and it could be a different size. I do believe you can get all 3 sizes of chests in that spot. And then this shiny doesn't always spawn either. It's not even consistent for like your first play, like your first time in the realm. But again, we didn't get anything crazy. So again, if you know what the purpose is or what its intended purpose is, let me know. I'm super curious if they're supposed to be higher rated stuff with better enchantments, better gems, because I haven't found anything that shows any different. And then we will shimmy across here. This is another one of those that the chest doesn't always spawn. But if you come to that spot up there, and you stand on that ledge where that rat's at, you'll be able to tell if there's a chest here or not. And you can kind of tell from there's some angles backwards on the map that you can see if you're looking for it. And then we'll just kind of climb up and we'll continue on. Oh, I missed all those. What? You'll have an ore vein right here. these couple boxes, and if you come out on this ledge, the first time you come through, there's either going to be a shiny or a chest right here. Same way. Yep. And then later on, you'll have an enemy out here on this balcony that if you're heavy, you can shove them off, but you could also fight. Now, when we talked to Fillmore, he also gave us a little an item to open this gate up with, and this is how you continue on the story path. Around here on this corner, there's going to be a dig spot that always spawns. You'll also have a couple trees, a couple herbs here, and then down here in this little crevice, you will have a shiny. This doesn't always spawn either. It's another one of those random spawns. We're honestly just looking for something lighter weight. And now we're going to get into like our first real backtracking situation. So I'll show you here. So we can go down this vine and we can come here. We can pick all this stuff up. Here's that ladder that we saw when we came over on this side of the shallows the very first time. But you'll notice you can't get up here. So this is where the backtracking starts. So it's kind of a two-part thing that we'll get to. Because the very first time you spawn in, you'll have a couple enemies here that you have to fight. And this whole entire game is full of backtracking scenarios. You'll see it. I'll show you a whole bunch more in later zones and even after we get to Sacrament. So what we're going to do is we're going to ride this elevator up. We're going to take care of these bogeys. Grab this shiny right here. And we'll talk about the research papers as the story goes on, but then you're going to make that little jump here, come down, and the very first time you play, you'll talk to these people.
If you make father,
I don't feel
We're not going to do a whole tutorial, like a whole walkthrough of all the dialogues. But then you're going to come back, and we are going to kick down this bridge. And then we're going to ride this elevator again. So we're going to pull this lever. And it's going to ride us back down. And then we're going to go this way. I'll show you how that path connects here in a second. Here, you're going to get a chest. It can spawn all three sizes. It can also spawn nothing. We're going to ride this ladder down. And these guys are not fun. These guys that spawn right here. If you're not ready for it, they can be a real pain. Which we got some focus, so we should be able to handle them pretty easily. There's two of them. There's one above that hasn't jumped down yet. And then there's this guy. There can be a chest here. It's not a guaranteed drop, but there's at least one dig spot. There's a tree. There's a fishing spot. And then if you come over here, you'll see there's another mining vein over there. But then you can also get this chest dropped right here. We got another pickaxe and another ember. Sweet. And there's a dig spot here. Grab this. And then we'll eventually be able to open this gate up. But we'll get to that in a later episode. And then if we get close enough, this guy's going to jump down. And be mad that we killed his brother. Take care of him and go on about our merry way. Now up here where he was at, there's going to be a tree and a chance for a shiny to drop, like we got one right now. Alright, so here's, real quick, there's a ladder that we'll get to later. Here's where that first backtracking happens. So come up here. There's usually a chest right here. Sometimes it doesn't spawn. I've had it spawn more often than not, though. But this is that backtrack. So we came here, and now we're right back to where we came down on the vine before. But now this time, we don't have to go around to get to continue the path. We can just come right here, and boom. There's that fire. We can come up here. We can make our food. We won't really worry about up this path yet. We'll get to this in another episode, because this, to me, this is a different part of the loop, the resource loop, when the map resets. So we'll take care of that one in a later episode. So I kind of have the Orban glades separate out into two parts, the upper and the lower. The upper we can get to, we can access straight through Sacrament. There's a hidden path that you can get to, and the lower part is the one that connects to Mariner's Keep and the Shallows. So we're going to focus just on the lower Orban glades in this episode. Right here, there's going to be an ore vein. If you take this ladder, this is another one that's going to kind of be a dedicated walkthrough. This is a zone that you can go through to get one of the other vendors for Sacrament. But we'll touch on that, and it'll be its own little short video. We got a whole bunch of trees here, herbs, mushrooms. And then we have a whisper here. There's a fishing spot right here. If you get a perfect one here, this is one of the ones that I found that pulls a lot of good material. If you get a perfect one, and I say that, and we get a fish just off rip there. There's a whole bunch of trees. And before we continue up the path, so the tutorial boss is right up that way. Before we do that, we're going to come down here and we're going to do some more resource gathering. So you'll have another dig spot, another ore vein here, some more plants, and then we're going to climb up this vine ladder right here, take care of these bogeys. There's going to be a dig spot. There can be a chest up here. A couple trees. There's usually like a more high-level enemy right here. We are just a parrying fool. Yeah. And then there'll be a chest. Oh, let's attach the, let's equip the one. Actually, what are you? Actually, let's equip the one. Let's see what this thing can do. And up here, you're going to have some plants, a tree. Oh, when we leveled up, go ahead and do those. We'll go here. And we'll stay with focus. We'll get focus to 15, and then we'll dump into equip load. We're already heavy, so it doesn't matter. And then once you cross that tree right here, this is just a good, there's a lot of resources here. So there's a couple dig spots. So there's one right there. There's a tree right there. Herbs, a dig spot here, which we can do the dig. So like we got a resource paper out of that. And then you just got this whole little cove of mushrooms and herbs. You can read the statues. They're pretty interesting if you haven't played and you want to read them. I mean, it's good information to have. There can be stags that spawn up here too as well. So if you ever see a deer or a fox or any other creature that you can kill out in the wild, kill it and get the resources off of it. They usually have pretty good upgrade resources. And then we're going to cross over on this little part of this lake or pond. We're going to grab this. There's always two fishing spots, one right there and one right next to it. We're going to come up here. This has a pretty good drop rate to drop a medium chest. And then you'll have two trees, some mushrooms, an ore vein, and again, like that fishing spot, and some barrels and stuff. We're going to get into the first tutorial boss and see how we do. Wish us luck. Bye. And look at that. We got a unique weapon out of that. And that's the chance too with this guy. He doesn't always drop uniques, but you could drop a unique right off the beginning of your run and kind of set you up, and maybe it just changes your whole mentality of what you want to play. All right, that's it for this very first episode of the No Rest for the Wicked walkthrough. We started out in the shallows, made our way through Mariner's Keep, all the way up in the Orban Glades. Like I said multiple times in this video, this is a loot run I use constantly. Every time the map resets, I'm always coming back here to get all the XP and the resources that respawn. And honestly, it's a great way to farm XP, and it helps you rebuild Sacrament along the way. With the map respawning, I will want to say this. Since the Together update, I have noticed that there are 3 main spots in the beginning part. Mainly this part in Mariner's Keep, this part in the shallows, and then this part in the shallows, sort of lower Mariner's Keep spot. They don't respawn. I've noticed it in multiple servers. I'm not sure if it's a bug or if it's something to go, like, I have no idea. But you're gonna lose this fishing spot right here, because this is where you'll come, and there should be a fishing spot right here, and you're gonna lose a resource right here. This one isn't so bad. It's a tree. I haven't really seen it affect the chest that could come there. It might be affecting that, but it's irritating enough that it was worth to mention that you will see that there's random pockets. And later on in the game, I think there are also some other random pockets throughout the entire map that they just don't respawn. So you'll lose some resources, but overall, as of right now, it's not that bad. I have reached out into their Discord to see if this is a bug. I haven't heard anything back, so hopefully they can get it patched, or we can get an answer on if it's a bug or not. I really hope this video helps somebody out. If you liked it, want to see more No Rest for the Wicked content, go ahead and like the video, sub to the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.